It's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. We're ending up baseball week. I've had a great time. I've worn a jersey of a team I've supported in some way or another all during the week. And yes, I'm ending with the Rochester Red Wings. You say, who on earth are the Rochester Red Wings? Well, move to Rochester, New York, and you'll certainly know. The Rochester Red Wings are the farm club for the Baltimore Orioles. And in 1969, baseball season of 69, 70, 71, 72, I lived in Rochester, New York, and we would go to those games. Can I just tell you that the mustard they put on their hot dogs was one of the best mustards to this day? I wish I could have some of that mustard and figure out what it is. But I will tell you this. As a farm team for the Orioles, they served at least two important purposes. One was cultivating the young talent that would make it into the big show, into the major leagues, make it into the Orioles. So I got to see guys like Don Baylor and Bobby Grich, who became Hall of Fame players for the Orioles. I saw them on their way up there. And I had a dad who was a student up at baseball to point them out to me and say, remember these guys, they're going to be something big. But in addition to that, the farm club served another purpose. There were already wonderful, established players on the Baltimore Orioles who, because of an injury or something, needed some rehab, needed to get themselves back into playing shape to get back into the game on the major league level. And so they would send those guys down to the minor leagues to get themselves back in playing shape. I remember seeing Boog Powell play. Now, Boog was already an amazing star for the Orioles, but he came down and had a minor league stint while he rehabbed. And I like that on this Friday as we're going into a weekend, because God knows that we human beings need those times of rehab, in a sense, of rest, of relaxation, of a chance to recharge and reshape who we are so that we can get back out there and serve Him in major league form. And so God provides for His people a time of rest. He set it up in the creation story in Genesis, where God makes the world in 6 days. On the seventh day, God rested. Now, don't be dismayed or confused. God did not rest because, you'll have to excuse the airplane, we're on the flight path. God did not rest because He was tired. God doesn't get tired. God rested because He was done. It's like his rest was like the rest in a musical score where you just quit playing because there's nothing to play at that moment. God had done His work. He rested. But that, Jesus says, was set up for us, for people. The Sabbath was made for people. People weren't made for the Sabbath, because we need regular times of rest, of restoration, times to focus on God and family and things that matter. And I think a lot of people in America are still a product of that Protestant work ethic, where we almost feel guilty if we're not working all the time, if we're not doing all the time. And yet God is the one who said, time out. You don't need to be doing that all the time. There's a time to play in the majors, but there's a time to go back and find restoration and refreshing times and restore yourself, regenerate yourself, recreate yourself. Recreate is the basis of our word recreate. So I want you, as you go into this weekend, to join me in making a very deliberate effort to find a segment of time, real good time to be downtime. Time where we're not addressing emails, time where we're not addressing texts, time where we're not having to do our list of things that must get done. Time to reflect upon how God's working in our life, how we can better serve Him, what areas of our life we need to prayerfully bring before God for Him to help us grow. It's a good time to be in worship. It's a good time, and if you don't have a church home, I invite you to join ours. I'll have Brent put a link down there for ours. You can join us live or online. You can join my class live or online. Links below. But it's a time this weekend I urge all of us to take to reflect on things beyond ourselves. Let me end by this. The Psalms frequently talk about God being our shelter or our refuge, a harbor from the storm. God never is that simply to remove us from engagement in this stormy world. God does that to remove us so that we can be restored and sent back out to live in victory in the storm. See, God didn't save Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego from the fiery furnace. He showed them how to walk through it, and he saved them through the fiery furnace. We still have challenges in this life, but we will address them better if we take that time to step out of the major leagues and just regularly refresh ourselves before the Lord. So I challenge you to do that this weekend, and join me next week for more video thoughts of the day.